Welcome everyone to another CoinTalk show, and today we have a very special show because I'm gonna share 10x trade, and towards the end I have a secret gem that I think will pull something like a 17x. But this is not just about Solana memes. There's also gonna be some base gems and some hyper liquid gems. So stay tuned right until the end. We have a very important show. I'm gonna break down everything. So grab that link down below, join Axiom, start putting your limit orders, start trading efficiently on chain on Solana, and stay tuned right until the end. Let's start. Well, look at Filecoin. Exactly as I've been predicting. It is now going to touch that $1 billion market cap, and that's our first take profit target, okay? A round of applause for me, a little tap on the back, because I was the only person on YouTube talking about it right at the bottom. I hope you guys have nailed this trade. And so we need to start thinking about pullbacks, about entries for you guys that are not in Filecoin, because you should be, because this is the most important meme as of now. The most important thing you need to know about Filecoin, the next target is going to be 1.5, okay? Once this resistance gets broken, look, it was resistance here, it was support here, it was resistance here. It acted as resistance and support a bunch of times. This point is going to be touched again on Filecoin, but I do think you guys will get some good entries. So let's come here on Axiom. These lines, I think the most important. Look, support 1 time, 2 times, 3, 4 times, resistance 1, 2, resistance here again, resistance on this day, resistance here, and it was support here. This 700.5 line is very important for Filecoin. I think you should lay a limit order here and just let it rest, because there's a possibility, even though I think Filecoin looks too bullish, there's a possibility we touch that $1 billion market cap and then have a slight pullback here, and then we continue the trend to 1.5 and beyond. And so that's what I would do. I would leave a limit order here. I would also leave some more limit orders here stacked right between 705 and 590, okay? That's what I think limit order should be, right between this and this line. You should stack a bunch of those here. Let me explain why. I've already told you guys the 705 million market cap zone, but let's look at the 591. Look, major resistance previously to that breakout, resistance here, and support throughout January 2025 and December 13th, 2024. It was support throughout all this time, okay? The 590 million market cap zone for Filecoin is major support, okay? In a worst case scenario, as of now, what I'm seeing is Filecoin coming here and then that bounce. I don't think, as of now, I don't think it's gonna go that low. I don't think it's gonna drop 50%, but I do think that there's a likelihood that it touches 705. Sometimes it might even go a little bit lower because of some whales, but these might be very fast spikes. So this is why you come here, limit order, you leave it there, and you can grab in that worst case scenario, like right here in the middle, say, and you just position yourself with whatever amount you want, and bam, you stack a limit order. Then let's say you want another one, because you think that there's a chance that it might go on a spike even a little bit lower, and you put another one, and you can stack a bunch of limit orders here. They might not all of them be filled, but some might, and sometimes this happens throughout the night. You can chill, wake up, and already be up on the Filecoin bounce. Now, we've looked at the bad case scenario for Filecoin. Now let's look at the bullish case scenario for Filecoin. The bullish case scenario is it breaks 1 billion and then it just goes straight to 1.5. If this thing breaks, I think can retouch. I think it's more likely than not. That's when you buy, okay? So if in the next 2 days it breaks out, don't buy the breakout, okay? Wait for the pullback, because this resistance will turn into support, and that's when you buy, that's when you load up on your Filecoin. But as of now, the most likely thing is a deeper pullback, and then you stack your limit orders, get filled, and chill. Now let's go into what I think is one of the most important Filecoin betas, which is Housecoin. Now, Housecoin structure hasn't broken. Just as I've been saying, look, major support line at 11, and now the second most important support line is going to be 7. If you had your limit orders set here, right between these two, they should start to get filled. This is where you buy. This is the place where you accumulate your Housecoin, okay? Right around here. This is the place to accumulate. And then I think we get a breakout and we touch new all-time highs. I think the price will go fast to 20 million, but it will go higher and beyond 20 million market cap. But as of now, the most important thing you need to understand is, as long as Altcoin is between this previous support and resistance and this major support line, nothing to worry about, okay? It's still strong and it's still going to be there as a Filecoin beta. Same thing for 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗏. Look, this is still the same chart from 3 days ago, okay? We saw the breakout, it touched again, but it didn't pull back. And so you know it's going to go here because this is the next level. That's what I told you guys. It came here, it stayed around support, but not for long. And then you could have scooped some 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗏 here, right between these levels. Okay, this is the place to accumulate your 𝗘𝗫𝗏. And now broke out, and I think it's going to retouch this line. So if you're not on 𝗘𝗫𝗏, this is where you buy, right around 13 million, 13.6, and then you get that bounce. Worst case scenario, support doesn't hold again, and we go deeper. If the support doesn't hold here, I think we will touch 8.5. This one needs to hold, otherwise Altcoin is just going to flip 𝗘𝗫𝗏. 𝗘𝗫𝗏 is looking bullish. There's still interest. It has a ton of holders, but this is what I'm seeing right now. Okay, these are the two possibilities: a touch of previous support and then a bounce. Second likelihood scenario is if its support doesn't hold, it is definitely going to go to 8.5. But my friend, if you accumulated here, you should be up. If you're a scalper, you probably nailed a good trade here. But I do think 𝗘𝗫𝗏 is more bullish than not. Now again, a very important one, which is 𝗘𝗫𝗖𝗛. Everyone's sleeping on 𝗘𝗫𝗖𝗛. Okay, don't give up on this one. Structure hasn't broken. It is at a crucial point here. This support does need to hold. Okay, the last time it went below, yeah, okay, it bounced. But in order for this to be bullish, we need this structure to hold. This time it's actually important because look, we have a major trend line here forming. The last support line is at 5.49. This is the last support line, and if it doesn't hold, I think 𝗘𝗫𝗖𝗛 will die. I do still think it's a good trade. Okay, it can still bounce. If we see another bounce, that means support line held 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. If it holds 3 times like SSE and like many others, it's incredibly bullish. So crucial support for 𝗘𝗫𝗖𝗛. Pay very close attention to this chart because this could be a great trade. If you're able to grab this here or at this trend line of 5.49 million market cap, you can do close to a 3x until the next resistance, which is around 16.2 million market cap. Okay, if it breaks below this, I wouldn't be holding. I would sell it immediately. But that's what I'm seeing on 𝗘𝗫𝗖𝗛. It's still not dead, but it's at a very crucial support line. Then on 𝗏, I'll be very brief because I'm updating 𝗏 daily. We saw the trend line hit. It's now pulling back slightly, and I think it can pull back to this level. Okay, right around 85, 87, maybe even 90 million market cap, which this is previous resistance, which should now turn into support. Worst case scenario is it comes back to the trend line and it touches 73, maybe 77 million market cap. Okay, this trend line is very important and has been holding since February. So if you're looking to enter 𝗏, these are the places where I would leave some limit orders on Axiom. Then, my friends, we have SSE, another trade that we nailed here on CoinTalk beautifully. I told you guys, be patient. Look, 1 time support, 2 times, 3 times. When you see a trend line where you see higher lows across multiple days or months, and you see that third touch, it's so bullish. Very few coins do this. If it survives that third touch, that's where you buy, okay? That's where you have some confidence that it's not gonna die because the community is so strong that they're buying all of these dips. And now we are up 60% and on our way to 176% trade because the next resistance is going to be right around very close to 20 million. I think a little bit below. I think the price is just going to skyrocket here and then pull back. Now, where is the pullback going to be? I think it's likely going to be something like 13 million market cap. Okay, it's definitely going to make a much higher low here. That's what I'm seeing here on SSE. And then the incredibly bullish case scenario is it breaks above this, retouches it, and then new all-time highs. These are the two scenarios for SSE. As of now, SSE is one of the best charts on Solana. Solana Social Explorer. You guys need to check this out. I've been talking about it for a month. Now, also very important, WIF. WIF is not dead. It's at this accumulation zone. This was an accumulation zone in January 2024. It was an accumulation zone throughout February 2024. When it broke out, look at this. I mean, major extension. Currently, again on this accumulation zone. As long as this holds, no need to worry, okay? This is where you accumulate your WIF. And what's going to happen is with Filecoin leading, once this thing breaks out, I think it just goes like straight to at least 3 billion market cap. It just goes straight and fast, just like it did previously. But this is the major accumulation zone. The people who are buying here are not going to sell it. I don't think they're going to sell it anywhere close to 1 or 2 billion market cap. So that's what I'm seeing on WIF. It's still bullish. It's still maintaining its structure and a very, very important meme. Now let's talk about aura. Anything below this green zone is where you can accumulate your aura. I never gave up on aura, even though the structure didn't look too good. I do think aura now is set to go to that 2 million market cap zone, okay? I do think that's where aura is going. If we plot this line right through the middle, look, support 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, then resistance. I think the price may go in touch here, then then pull back right to this level here of 1 million market cap and then do something like this. I think this is a likelihood, or the price just stays around here and then 2 million market cap. What I do think can happen also to Aura Farm is it goes straight, breaks this major resistance, and then this becomes support and it stays here. These are the two likelihood scenarios. This remains as resistance and then we see deeper pullbacks, or this will become support for Aura Farm. But I do think Aura Farm is going to give you a 2x in the next day or two, maybe this week, and I do think Aura Farm will go to 2 million market cap. Then 𝗵𝗔𝗥𝗧𝗏 is giving us very bullish vibes. It looked dead here. This was a great scoop. I didn't buy this because it broke structure, but it completely broke out of this major resistance and turned it into support. Now I feel it's much safer to buy 𝗵𝗔𝗥𝗧𝗏. It's very close to support and it's bouncing back. It's going to encounter some resistance here at 32 million market cap, as I said previously. Okay, this is a major resistance level, but after this there's really nothing until 55 million market cap. If you want a good meme on base, one of the strongest, and you want 150% trade, okay, you want that 2.5x, this is where you get that 2.5x. And this is not a new meme, this is an old meme, so the likelihood of this scenario happening is much bigger than with these new memes. Okay, 22 million market cap and almost $1 million in liquidity. 𝗵𝗔𝗥𝗧𝗏, okay, take a look at 𝗵𝗔𝗥𝗧𝗏, one of the best ones on base. Then another one I didn't give up on is Memedex. I've been talking about this one for like 2 months. Here's what happened. This box here is the accumulation zone. Okay, it broke below, it didn't look good, but now it's back at this major support line at around 4 million market cap and in this accumulation zone. If we start seeing, I wouldn't buy this here though, because it's at a critical level, but if we see a pump to like 7 million and then another pullback, if we start seeing the price do this, you can definitely enter Memedex. But I wouldn't enter here, okay, because it's still a sketchy chart. It still looks scary. It's still at support. It can definitely go lower. So what I would do is wait for some signs that it's alive and just higher lows. That's what I would wait. And then we can start talking about the next targets for Memedex. But as of now, we need to see this chart come back alive a little bit stronger. Then my friends, hyper liquid memes. Everyone, look, this one, I told you guys, okay, buddy, I charted this one, bouncing from support. Doesn't this look like SSE? Look, 1 times, 2 times, 3 times, and now it's going, and it will probably touch 10 million market cap, and likelihood do even 20 million and go even higher. But that's what I'm seeing here on, but if you're not on this trade, there's going to be some resistance here, close to 10 million market cap, resistance, there's going to be some resistance here. I wouldn't buy it here, by the way. Wait for it to touch resistance, then what's going to happen is, it's either going to pull back, and it will pull back, likely it's going to pull back to this level here where it's at again, probably going to do this and then continue the trend, or wait for it to break higher and then pull back into the previous resistance, which should then turn into support. That's what I would do when it comes to 𝗵𝗔𝗥𝗧𝗏, but this is looking very good. It looks like SSE, it looks like Altcoins when it was trending upwards and I was telling everyone to buy. Remember this chart, okay? 1, 2, 3 times. At the 3rd time, the price tends to bounce if it's a good meme. Now back to Solana. We have time, manipulated time. This is a Raydium meme. Raydium now is competing with Pump.Fun and launching meme coins with a little bit more liquidity. Look, we have this trend line and we have this structure. Do I think the structure is going to hold and not pull back deeper? No. I think the likelihood of it pulling back deeper is much bigger. And so I think this level and I think this level. I think the price can break this structure, and then if it does, this is where, if you're trying to buy some time, this is where you accumulate, right between 2 and 1.9. And then we can start talking about a possible bounce. Price may spike here, so leave a limit order here on Axiom. There's a link down below and you can start, leaving these limit orders, because sometimes 1 or 2 whales, when the price breaks this structure, they're looking at the same chart and they start dumping. The price can come here very fast and aggressively and then recover very fast. Okay, so leave limit orders on these trades if you're trying to trade something like time, and I think Axiom is the best platform to do this. Now, if the structure holds on the second pullback, that's when you buy. But right now, only been touched twice. It's coming for the 3rd time. The likelihood of it holding is not very high. Usually when it's on a structure like this, on a brand new meme like this, it doesn't hold. But let's see, because this is a brand new trend on Raydium. So let's see what happens. If it bounces, I would just wait for it to touch another time this support line. I think these are the 2 most likely scenarios for time. But there's a 3rd likelihood scenario, which is it comes here and it breaks. If it breaks this structure, this major resistance got touched 1 times, 2 times. If at the 3rd time it breaks, you buy the pullback, because then yeah, it's going to go much higher. I do think this has something like a 10% likelihood of happening. It's not very likely to happen. Most likely is structure gets broken and it comes down here. Second most likely, bounce. I wouldn't buy. I would wait for another pullback. That's when I would buy. 3rd least likely, all-time highs, pullback. That's when I would buy. Okay, that's what I'm seeing here on time. Brand new meme. Pay attention to it. Radium memes might be a whole narrative, so pay attention. Now back to Hyperliquid. I told you guys, support here on 𝗘, support here on 𝗘. If you're trading on Hyperliquid, you can scalp this. There's a good likelihood it's going to touch this a third time. That's what I would buy. But to be honest, I don't think memes like 𝗘 are good scalps. I think this is a good 8.5x, okay? You buy here and then you just wait because Hyperliquid will come back. And when it comes back, this thing will act as leverage on Hyperliquid. This is a long-term trade, okay? This is a swing trade. So grab your 𝗘 and just wait. There's no major resistance right between this. Look at how fast it moved to 400 million, okay? This thing can move even faster because the market gets smarter and people learn faster. So we might see a similar move once Hyperliquid starts going bullish. This is the #1 meme on Hyperliquid. It was the first one. So very, very important meme, okay? One of the most important meme coins in all of crypto. Pay attention to 𝗘. This support line is to accumulate. Again, second or third most important meme on a Hyperliquid. If you want a 17x, look, I don't see any major resistance here. What I see is nuclear price action again to something like 80 million market cap or new all-time highs. Major support line here got touched one time, it almost touched the second time. If we see a pullback here, I wouldn't even wait for it to touch 2.65. I would just buy a little bit higher, maybe 3.8 right here, anywhere close to the support line. That's when you start accumulating these Hyperliquid memes. I can guarantee you it's going to be easier to make money on Hyperliquid memes than Solana or Base. There's less competition. If you want like a 20x, a 17x, this is where you get it. Again, Hyperliquid, look, resistance got broken. Maybe wait for a retouch. That's when you buy. Liquid launch, next generation AI and token launches. That's what it is. It's a launch pad basically. But major accumulation, major support here, resistance, previous support, now resistance. I think the price will retouch this. Very likelihood maybe goes a little bit higher and then it retouches the 7.8. That's when you buy. But where would you sell? What's the target? Look, a good target to dump this is between 23 and 20 million market cap. If you can buy this on a pullback and even trade this on a Hyperliquid with some leverage, good for you. That's where I would sell, right between this level. Support, 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 resistance, support. Look, these are the levels, okay? This is where you'll find some difficulty for a liquid launch to break. Now, finally, let's talk about Memecoin. Look, yesterday I said there's two likelihood scenarios. It either pulls back again and that's when you buy, but it's so bullish and now pumped. Look, it pumped exactly to that same level of 40 million market cap. And now what I would do is I would wait for a pullback to 30 million market cap. Come here, limit order, 30 million, maybe leave it a little bit high, 31 million, whatever amount you want, buy, limit order is placed, then you can chill, okay? If you're feeling FOMO and you want to buy here at the 40 million market cap, I'm not going to blame you because this is a very big meme. But the truth is, these memes always do some pullbacks. So that's what I would do, leave a limit order here. But Memecoin definitely looking bullish, okay? I'll always lay out the possible scenarios. I think this is very likely, very slight pullback, and then continuation of trend. If this thing just continues until 50 million market cap, then it's way more bullish than anyone thinks. I would definitely reevaluate an entry, definitely not 30 million, but a little bit higher. But as of now, we need to pay very close attention to Memecoin, okay? The place to buy was a retouch of the support. Look, it broke, it went a little bit higher, then it retouched 2 times. Look, support here got touched 2 times on this candle and on this candle, 2 times. Do you think support will get touched here 1 or 2 times again? More likely than not. This is where you should have bought Memecoin. This is where you take profits. Resistance got broken, and now I think retouch again. That's what I'm seeing on Memecoin. So limit order set, use Axiom. There's a link down below. Thank you very, very, very much. I hope you have enjoyed this show. I'm going to be here and breaking down the most important charts on meme coins, even AI stuff, everything that's happening on chain. My name is Gustavo. This is CoinTalk. Please like, follow, subscribe. I appreciate every single one of you guys watching my show and helping me grow into one of the biggest channels in crypto. Thank you very much.